In 1995, a woman testified in court with absolute certainty. She remembered her attacker's face perfectly. She was wrong. DNA evidence cleared the man she identified 11 years later. Her brain hadn't lied to her on purpose. It had done something far stranger. It had built her a memory that felt completely real and completely wasn't. None of this makes you dishonest. It makes you human. The unsettling part is that there's no warning light. Your brain never flags the moment it's guessing. It hands you the guess with the exact same confidence as the truth, and you have no built-in way to tell the difference from the inside. Here's where it gets even stranger. The people most confident in a memory are not more likely to be right. Confidence and accuracy are almost completely unrelated. Some of the most certain, vivid, emotionally detailed memories people carry are among the least reliable, because emotion makes a memory feel more real, not more accurate. The stronger the feeling, the more convinced you are, and conviction was never the thing measuring the truth. So here's the uncomfortable question underneath all of this. If your brain edits memories, invents reasons, and fills gaps without telling you, how much of what you call yourself is something you actually experienced, and how much of it is a story your brain built afterward and handed to you as fact? You walk around every day fully convinced you're seeing an accurate record of your own life. You're not. You're reading a story your brain wrote for you, edited for confidence instead of accuracy, and you've never once caught it in the act because the editor doesn't leave a trace. It never has to. It was never trying to tell you the truth. It was only ever trying to keep you moving, and by that measure, it's telling you exactly what it's supposed to. You think your memory works like a video recording. It doesn't. Every time you remember something, your brain doesn't play it back. It rebuilds it from scratch, and it gets a little more wrong every single time. That childhood memory you're so sure about, there's a real chance parts of it never happened at all. Here's the number that should bother you. The average person is confident about thousands of memories they carry every single day. Studies on eyewitness testimony suggest a significant portion of those confident memories contain details that are simply false, not blurry, not uncertain, false, and felt completely real the whole time. So what's actually going on in there? Let's start with what we know for certain. In the 1990s, psychologist Elizabeth Loftus ran a study that changed how we understand memory. She had researchers plant a completely fabricated childhood story into participants' minds, getting lost in a mall as a kid, an event that never happened. Within a few sessions, a striking number of participants weren't just agreeing it happened, they were adding details. The color of the stranger's shirt, how scared they felt, memories of an event that never existed at all. This wasn't a party trick. This is how your brain works all the time on everything. Memory isn't storage, it's reconstruction. Every time you pull up a memory, your brain doesn't retrieve a file. It rebuilds the scene using fragments, and every rebuild is a chance for something to shift, blur, or get added in from somewhere else entirely. And here's the part that gets stranger. This isn't a flaw your brain apologizes for. It does it with total confidence. Confabulation is the technical term. It's when your brain fills a gap with a plausible answer and hands it to you as fact, no warning label attached. Patients with certain kinds of brain damage will confidently describe events that never happened, not because they're lying, but because their brain genuinely believes the story it just invented. You do a milder version of this constantly. Ask someone why they made a decision and they'll give you a clean, confident reason. But research on decision-making suggests a lot of the time that reason is invented after the fact. The decision happened first, somewhere below conscious awareness. The why came second, stitched on afterward to make you feel like you were in control the whole time. Your brain, it turns out, isn't a camera. It's a storyteller, and a storyteller's job isn't accuracy, it's coherence. It needs the story to make sense, even if that means quietly editing the footage. So why would evolution build something so unreliable? Here's the wild part. Unreliable memory wasn't the bug. It was the feature. A perfect memory that stored every single detail of every single day would be enormously expensive to run and mostly useless. Your ancestors didn't need to remember the exact shade of the sky the day they found a berry bush. They needed to remember berries near water, safe, fast, cheap, and good enough to act on. The brain that survived wasn't the one with perfect recall. It was the one that could compress experience into fast, usable patterns, even if that meant sanding off the details or inventing a few to fill the gaps. A brain that hesitates to act because it's not 100% sure of every detail is a brain that gets eaten. A brain that commits to a plausible story and moves is a brain that survives long enough to pass that trait down. This same shortcut runs your daily life today, and it shows up as bias. Confirmation bias is your brain quietly filtering out information that doesn't match what you already believe. Not because it's dishonest, but because updating a belief takes energy and ignoring the mismatch is cheaper. Hindsight bias is your brain rewriting the past to make you feel like you always knew what was coming, even when you didn't. Because I predicted this is a more useful story than I was surprised. Your brain isn't tracking the truth. It's tracking what keeps you moving forward, confident and fast. Let's walk through what this actually looks like in a single ordinary day. You wake up and you're already telling yourself a story. What kind of day this is going to be, based on how you feel in the first 30 seconds before anything has actually happened. At work, you make a call on instinct, then immediately build a confident explanation for why you made it, even though the real reason was closer to a gut feeling than a decision. You remember an argument with a friend, and in your version, you're a little more reasonable and they're a little more wrong than what actually happened, not because you're lying to yourself on purpose, but because your brain edits every memory slightly in your own favor. By the end of the day, you've told yourself dozens of small, confident stories, and you believed every single one of them completely.